Might have to get you to do it. I don't know. All right, we got 2 thumbs up, so we're going to get started. We have a long ways to go. I hope we get finished. And so you're going to have to listen quick. So here we go. Without any further ado, here's my first picture. Remember this guy? Okay, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time, but I just want to remind you that he was a blatant Satanist, and he was the head of this division that still is in operation today in your United States government. And it was a psyop, or a psychological operation department, where there was one sole reason, and that was to change the way people think and what they remember, and to form what the government wanted them to believe. Now, I hope you understand what I'm saying. This is a whole division. Many people funded greatly, and they have one sole purpose. So they have meetings and they say, well, how are we doing over here? Are we changing the truth over here? Are we doing mind war on them? He wrote a book. He wrote several books. First book he wrote was called Mind War, a psychological operation. He had a little lackey that was an understudy. Michael Aquino built the temple to Set, and it's still there today in San Francisco, California. This guy, he's in here because he was co-author with Michael Aquino in his first book, Mind Wars. As a Satanist, what do you think they're trying to cause you to believe? He's a Satanist as well, but what I thought was strange was he's one of the founder members of Turning Point USA, which everybody in America would tell you that's a Christian organization because that's what it's promoted as. But why would they have, as one of their founding members, a Satanist? And if he is a Satanist, which he says he is, and he is the director of a psychological operation division of the United States government, then are you able to put 2 and 2 together? So this stuff doesn't add up unless it adds up badly. So why would we, as semi-intelligent human beings, believe anything your government had to say? Now, I think what's happening since Saturday is going to change the world. It already has for a lot of people. And I think, though, we should be real careful with what we believe. That's all I'm saying. So we're moving really fast. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. Your government has a division to try to twist what you believe. And it's headed up by Satanists. I don't know how else to say it. So I think we should question everything. And with the invention of artificial intelligence, you don't know what to believe. So thank God, God left us a Bible. So today, we're going to see, in light of the Bible, does it add up to what they're telling us? So what does the Bible say? Well, here is something that is widely thought to be true. Let's see this video.
You've seen Jews rocking back and forth at the Western Wall, and it looks intense. The reason will break your heart. The Western Wall is the last remaining piece of the Second Temple, destroyed by Romans in 70 CE. For 2,000 years, Jews have been praying there for the temple to be rebuilt. But here's what's happening with that rocking motion. It's called davening, and it comes from grief so deep your body can't stay still. Imagine standing at the site of your people's greatest loss. Imagine 2,000 years of exile and persecution traced back to this spot. Your body rocks because the pain is too big to contain. Some say it's like a flame flickering upward trying to reach God. Others say it's the physical manifestation of yearning. But there's another layer. When you're at the wall, you're not just one person praying. You're every Jew who ever stood there. Your great-great-grandmother who never got to see it. Your ancestors who died dreaming of Jerusalem. The rocking connects you to all of them. You're swaying with generations of longing in your bones. That's not just prayer. That's embodied history. Share this if the Western Wall just got more emotional.
Okay. One thing I want to say is that's widely known. Almost every president in our history has been to the Wailing Wall or the Western Wall. What they tell you is you write down a prayer on a piece of paper, you stick it in the cracks of the wall, and the angels will take it to God. I wouldn't want to try to tell you. I don't know how many funerals. I've done scores and scores of funerals. I've never, not one time, saw anyone so overwhelmed with grief that they rock back and forth, thrusting their pelvis. Now, I'm not telling you it doesn't happen. They say it does. I've never seen it. So what does the Bible say? Matthew 24, verse 1. Here we go. We got to hurry. And I'm sure glad I cut about half of this out. And Jesus, that's the truth, I can show you. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple. Let me say this. I cut all these other scriptures out. But this is confusing to people. They'll tell you that it's in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and it's not. In Matthew and Mark, he's on Mount Olives, and the only people that are there are James and John, Peter, and Andrew. But in Luke, it's the next day. It's the next morning. And what I think is that Peter, James, and John, and Andrew told Jesus, you need to tell this to everyone else. And in Luke, if you look at it, study it, he's on the temple steps. And it's the middle of the day. And Matthew and Mark is a different occasion. And when you put them side by side, they're really, really similar. That's why people get it mixed up. But they are two different times and two different events. And there are a little difference in them. This is what he says. Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. Okay? So this is the day before. If he was in the temple, he was baptized. The next day when he goes there, when Luke records it, he was baptized. Just saying, Jesus was baptized hundreds of times. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another. Let me read you that again. Now this is Jesus. He's not like me. He's not... He doesn't have a habit of stretching things or embellishing things. He's truth. He said, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately. Mark tells you who they were, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? Why? Because 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 22 says, the Jews require a sign. The Jews want to know from Jesus, what is the sign of thy coming and of the end of the age? And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. He says that 4 times in this discord called the Olivet Discord. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Don't be deceived. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. That's what we hear of. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these things are the beginnings of sorrows. So, he makes the statement, there won't be one stone left upon another. Notice, he says, not one stone left upon another. He says, look out, because it'll be a great time of deception. Don't let people deceive you. So history tells us In 70 AD, some 35 years after the resurrection of Jesus Christ, the Roman government destroyed the city of Jerusalem, not just the temple, the city of Jerusalem. There's two little videos that's in a documentary that I thought might bring it to life and give you a break from listening to me blow V8. They're only 4 minutes apiece, so sit and enjoy. This might be sort of what it was like, and I wanted to use our 98-inch big screen. Can I sit down?
Jerusalem.
The Romans broke the first wall after 15 days. The second took another 8. But then, the attack foundered. The Romans could not get past the massive third wall. It wasn't just tall, it was also 15 feet deep. Titus now ordered the area around Jerusalem to be scoured for timber. Every tree for 10 miles was cut down for siege platforms and towers.
When this is finished, the Jews will be finished.
Not much further, men. We can do it. They may be stronger than us, but they don't have our brains.
The towers were vast, 75 feet high and weighing many tons. Teams of men were needed to move them into position. Each tower could carry dozens of assault troops. It was now the Romans who could attack from above.
Good work. Stand allegiance to at dawn.
In just 3 days, Titus's troops built a wall 4.5 miles long, with 13 forts, right around the city. It is one of the most remarkable feats of Roman military engineering. Jerusalem was now completely cut off. Over the next 3 months, the people in the city began to starve.
I think the name of this documentary is BBC Ancient Rome. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube or whatever. And it's derived from the writings of historians of the day, like Josephus and other historians. And this other video, that's another clip of it, shows what happens once they broke the walls. Anybody have a joke?
Over the next 3 months, the people in the city began to starve. In the end, the siege was broken not through Roman ingenuity or force, but because of the tunnel the Jews had built to attack the siege towers. The Romans had reached the temple precincts, and there they paused. Now they had to decide what to do with the temple itself.
Well, we all know what Placidus would do. You'd raise it to the ground, wouldn't you?
If we don't, General, they're only going to use it as a rallying point in the future. It's going to be hard enough to capture as it is. We don't want to do that all over again.
The temple is a place of great holiness, of great significance to us.
All the more reason to burn it down.
No, don't you see? If you spare the temple, the people will see that God has used you as his instrument. The rebels have desecrated it, but you have preserved it.
You can't attack Rome and expect to get away with it.
Please, I beg you, don't destroy the temple. If for no other reason, because it's so beautiful.
It would be a great ornament for Rome. After all, it is a work of art. A great work of art. No. It'll be our gift to the Emperor and the people of Rome.
that it? Okay. So it gives you kind of an idea of what Jesus said was going to happen. And if you want to believe history or the historians of that day, they said it did happen. Now, I've been getting quite a bit of flack on Facebook. I think it's hilarious. One guy, he don't go to church. He don't give a flip about God. He said, man, from a pastor, you're sounding more political than you are biblical. I said, I bet that's what they said to John the Baptist right before they cut his head off. Historians say that Rome came in there, and for whatever reason, they plowed the city under, so there wouldn't be any evidence that it ever existed. Now, history says they took the rocks from the temple and the temple wall and stuff, they chipped them apart, and that fulfilled the prophecy of Jesus. Not one stone would be left upon another, because they're looking for gold. So the temple was full of gold. Also, there are historians that say that's why they plowed up the temple area, because they thought the gold would have ran down into the ground. And there was a